everybody, man, and thank you guys again for tuning in to another episode of Ask Pops. I am your big bro War.
I'm Pops.
And this is Choi. She's here with us again today. So yeah, man, we digging into health, man. But first of all, we want to say, hey, we're on the road to 100 subscribers.
Yeah.
Hey, man, take a second to subscribe. It doesn't cost a thing. Take a second to like the video, to share the video, and man, just let's get back into this health thing, man. So we ended off where you were telling us about how a lot of like the trans fats, the saturated fats, when we're eating certain foods, how our body doesn't recognize it, and in a way kind of rejects it at some point to where it doesn't break it down in a manner to where, you know, it doesn't give us any nutritional good, but the body kind of rejects it in a way, or causes the body to be off into, you know. So yeah, let's get back into it.
So when you really look at foods, that's how we get our main source of our vitamins, and so you want to make sure that the food that you eat contributes to that.
Right.
So, like I said, the FDA approves a lot of stuff. If it doesn't kill you, typically they approve it. But what you want to stay away from, I'll talk about what you want to stay away from, what foods are good for you. And you really need to start looking at labels. I go to the store now, when I go to the store, because it's so ingrained in me, when I see a person pick up a certain thing, typically we buy stuff we're used to, so we don't read the back of the labels.
Right.
So I don't think I've seen very few people really look at labels, and it's based on what they buy. So I'll go up to that same canned good or whatever they get when they walk away, and I'll look at the back of it. Just to see what it has. And what I found is a lot of it is trans fat, is really high in cholesterol, and those things that the body does not know what to do with. But we're so used to eating it. I mean, it's in commercials, it's been pushed on us, and so that's what we do. But you want to stay away from high carb foods, because the body cannot digest it quick enough before you eat again. And remember, we eat several times a day, most of us. I only eat once a day. I fast 24 hours and I eat once a day. These are things that over 70 years have brought me to this point. So with that, and even when I eat like that, I don't always do the 5 groups, because the past couple of days I just had salads. But I've still gotten all my nutrients because I'm not hungry, I don't feel weak, you know.
Do you take, like, I guess, any vitamins or supplements?
Oh yeah, actually I have a great multivitamin that I got from the supplement store that I shop at. I actually take supplements for my high blood pressure. My doctor wanted to put me on certain medications. I have a friend that's on, I think, his 3rd high blood pressure medication. Because they'll give you one to try. If it has side effects, they'll give you something else to try, to where they can get it down to where you can handle it. That's basically what they do. I'm calling it out. It is what it is. So what I did not want to.
Hey, and if you're on high blood medication, definitely consult with your doctor if there's a natural way to change that, because, you know, I have to say, so even in that being said, like, I've had a couple conversations with a couple of nurses, right? And of course, you know, Shell's, you know, big baby sis is a nurse, you know. So, you know, what she was explaining was, she was like, you know, the medication can help to get your levels to a place where they need to be. But it is possible, once you get to the levels where you need to be, it's possible to maintain it through natural, you know, through natural means, like diet and exercise, those sorts of things. So the stuff that you're saying, you know, we're not saying just throw your medication out the window without talking to your doctor, but at the same time, you don't have to be stuck on medication. You know.
So this is my journey. I'm not advocating. Trust me, I'm just giving you my story. Don't change anything you're doing unless, like Big Bro War, so you consult. But I didn't personally want to be on medication, only because I've talked to the people that were on medication and the side effects.
Right.
So I went to the store where I buy my supplements, and I told them that, I've been diagnosed with hypertension. And I told them, I said, it normally runs maybe 10 above where there should be for my age, I think my doctor told me it was acceptable. Instead, ideal is 120 over 80. But I was acceptable into the low 130s at my age, as long as it was consistently in that range.
Right.
So I explained all that to the person at the store, at the supplement store. So they gave me, it was called a BP reducer, and they have like a 1, 2, 3 levels of it. And I started out on the first level, and they also recommended olive leaf oil. Because when they recommended that, I didn't buy it that day. I went and I researched it.
Yeah.
And it said that it was good for high blood pressure, causing your body to regulate itself, because high blood pressure is basically your heart is beating faster than it should at rest, normally at rest. And so if you're doing a particular exercise, then it's okay for it to be that fast, because it needs that to do whatever the exercise is.
Right.
But if you're at rest, it's still at a higher level.
I got you. Yeah.
So I bought that, and after I researched it, I began to take those two things, and I also made sure I took a multivitamin for men over 50, because you need certain things that a man that's 20 years old don't need, because your body starts to get older and break down.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 supplements that I take. And so after I started taking them, about maybe a couple weeks after, I started monitoring my blood pressure. And my wife, she always said, we bought a pump, blood pressure. So she always said, okay, now when you take your blood pressure, you take a picture of it on your phone so I can see it. So she didn't let me get by. So sure enough, there were mornings and you should take it while you're resting. First time you get up, because it's a resting heart rate.
Right.
So I would take it first thing in the morning, and it started registering like 140. My lower one, the 80 one, was always in the 70s. It was always lower.
Yeah.
The top number started in the 40s, then it dropped down to the 30s, and there were a couple of times when I had some 125s. So the supplements that I was taking helped me.
Right.
Isn't it?
Right.
So that being said, I was able to fix that issue, and I still take it. It's something that I always take, and I still I was checking my blood pressure every day for like 2 or 3 months, just to make sure that it was the real deal.
Yeah.
So now I just kind of drop down. I check it once a week, sporadically on different days.
Yeah. And
it's running between like 130, 138. And there are moments when I go into 120s. So the supplements have helped me, and there are no issues of heart attack, no shortness of breath, those kind of symptoms that you want to be aware of if you have hypertension. So going back to the foods is that you want to make sure that you're eating foods that complement your body. So if you get too many carbs, your body can't digest it. Fried foods, too much fried foods will slow down your digestive system, where it again will give you issues. Dairy products is another one. Sometimes people are lactose intolerant, to where the lactose doesn't leave their body. So there's a chemical that your body produces called lactate, which works on the lactose. And if you get discomfort and you have reflux from dairy products, then you need to figure out with you and your doctor what you can go to. Try to go to a different product before you go to a medication. That's always my first choice.
Education before medication. Over medication.
There's another one, ultra processed foods. That gets into a lot of your fast foods. They've been changed from like their natural state. You have for instance, There's a company.
Y'all be getting them Weasel McNuggets.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all be getting them Weasel Nuggets.
They're actually, their fries, they grow them a special way. Mm-hmm. And when they finish growing them, they have such chemicals on them that you have to wait before you can cut them and peel them and fry them and the whole deal. Oh. They're especially to that company.
Oh, wow.
Because they've been changed from their natural state. You have food that have starches and sugars and oils and fats. They have artificial flavors and colors and preservatives to extend the life shelf.
Yeah.
And it's documented. This is all documented stuff.
Yeah.
Another thing you got to be careful for is like caffeine. Too much people like coffee, and I like coffee. I'll have a cup in the morning.
Yeah.
You have to be sure that you watch your caffeine intakes because that speeds up the heart again, and it puts your digestive system in a frenzy. Okay. Because your digestive system has a way of doing what it does, and it has a process. Caffeine speeds all of that up.
Okay.
Saturated fats, trans fats build up cholesterol, which gives you a possibility of heart disease. So all of these things are what we call processed foods.
And all of that we can see on that label.
You can see this on the label.
Okay.
Now what you can't see on the label is when you go into the fast food joint and you get the food already prepared.
Right.
But what I'm trying to get people to understand is the way food is now is so much different from years ago.
Right.
Years ago, before all of the fast foods and all of this, most people grew their vegetables. Mm-hmm. They had their own cattle. Mm-hmm. I remember growing up when I was just a boy. When I got out of school, I would go to my aunt's house. I had two aunts, they lived together. Mm-hmm. And they had a little garden in their backyard. Yeah. They grew their own vegetables, most of them. Mm-hmm. And they got their eggs from the neighbor down the street that had chickens. Mm-hmm. And, most of it came from the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So I would sit out on the back porch and they would use AP flour, all-purpose flour, which is even different back then than it is now. Yeah. They would make me a couple of homemade biscuits. Sit me outside on the floor, on the back porch, and put a paper in between my legs, open those biscuits, pour honey on it that they got from another neighbor that had honeybees. Yeah, yeah. And they would go to the garden, get a tomato, wash it off, slice it up, and put that on my biscuits. Yeah.
And honey tomato biscuits, boy, that's old school.
And that was so good. But most of the food.
Hey, in the day, all you can get is a sausage biscuit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Well, they give you a little pack of honey. Yeah, but it's different honey. Most of it is kind of made in warehouses.
Yeah, yeah.
But what happened was over the years, they have begun to raise food in warehouses and things like that. They've been able to take chickens instead of letting them run free. They have them caged up, and so they're all over each other, eating each other's feces and that kind of thing. And those are the eggs, some of the eggs that what we buy at the store. So today things have changed so much to where what my wife and I have been doing over the past, we've been together 4 years, married 3 years. For the past 2.5 years, we've been going to farmers markets in the summertime. Yeah. And what led us to do that is because I love bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich. That's one of my favorite things. Yes. Yeah. And when we would buy tomatoes at the grocery stores and you cut into them, I mean, it looked like tomato, but there was no flavor, there was no taste. And the same thing went for some of the other vegetables. And what happened was we went to a little small farmer's market that's near where we live. And then you have these farmers that they grow their own vegetables and they actually bring them to the market. So I bought a tomato there 2.5 years ago. When I sliced into that tomato, when I tell you, you can actually smell the tomato. And when you bit into it, I just had to bite. When you bit into it, the juice So I knew that came from somebody's garden.
Yeah.
That they took the time to raise that. Mm-hmm. And so I went to the store on purpose and bought a regular tomato. Yeah. Brought it home and sliced it. Yeah. Put it beside that tomato. There was an obvious difference. Mm-hmm. Obvious difference. Mm-hmm. Now what I did the next time, because I'm always wanting to make sure what I improve. Mm-hmm. So there were like 4 or 5 different farmers there, and they all had tomatoes and different things because it was in their garden. Mm-hmm. I got a tomato from every one of those farmers. Yeah. And I sliced them, and they all looked the same. Mm. So that was proving that these came from a farm. Yeah. This one might have lived over here, and this one might have lived in the next county over, and this one might have lived in the next city. Yeah. But they all grew tomatoes. Mm-hmm. So my wife and I, we start just kind of talking when we buy things, we start going to frozen vegetables. Mm-hmm. Because frozen vegetables are the next best thing to like vegetables that you grow in the garden, because you dry freeze them and freeze them, and there's a process that I don't know all that. Mm-hmm. But it came to the point, son, to where we found also at the farmer's market, there was a person there that had a cattle farm. Mm-hmm. And they raised their own cows, took them to the slaughter, well, I don't say slaughter, processing plant. Right. Try to use words here. Right. So they processed it like you got all your beef. Mm-hmm. They didn't do pork or pigs. They did only beef. Yeah. So we bought a couple of things from them, and the meat was so flavorful. Yeah. And personally, when it comes to my chicken, I've been, ever since 2018, I've been buying my chicken in Waxhaw, North Carolina, from a place there that actually is a farm where they raise the chickens. They kind of roam, they run around and eat worms and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. They raise their own cattle, but I buy my chicken from there. So we found out a year later that there's a person close to us that sells chickens. Raised chickens. Yeah. And sells us his eggs. We've been buying dozens of eggs for $3 a dozen that comes off his. And the thing about that egg, there's a membrane on it when they hatch, when they lay the egg. You have to wash that membrane on it, then you just crack it and use it. So I said all that to say that I have found, just for me, my 70 years of living, that I am going back to finding real food. And I call it real food because anytime you change or alter it, it doesn't qualify for real food anymore. Yeah. Because that's the only thing we can put in our body. Yeah. Food is where we get our nutrients from. We eat it, we utilize it, and we discard it. So we're getting to the point to where we're getting all of our meat from the local farm. We got a source where we buy all of our hamburgers, we buy all of our steaks, we buy all of our food. Meats as many as we can from that person. Right. When the farmer's market, that's where we get all of our vegetables. But there was a catch to that. This winter, I wanted some greens, or I wanted some green beans, and I didn't want to buy it frozen. So I had the bright idea that I'm gonna start canning. Oh yeah, that's old school. Well, so I checked out, and again, it's just my story. Yeah, I checked out a couple of books, and I even got one, Canning for the dummies. I know nothing about this. Yeah, but I do know I want my body to be healthy. Yeah, and I do know that I have to take control and responsibility for that. So I'm starting to read this book because the farmers markets are going to be opening up soon. And so once they do, then I can buy whatever vegetables I want because it's in season. And then what I can do, I can start canning for the winter. Yeah. And that's how they used to do it. Yeah, I remember. Like I said, that was old school. I remember. Mama Jessie used to can, and I didn't mean to cut you off. But we have to take control of our lives. And I'm at that place now, son, to where, and what we're talking about, there are thousands and thousands of people that are talking about it. Yeah. But they're looking at us right now. Yeah. So I feel like I have a responsibility to give you this information, and hopefully that you would take it serious for you and your family, and start changing the way that you're eating changing, get more healthy, because our world is getting worse. Things are changing. We can't change what's happening in government.
Yeah.
We can't change any of that stuff, but we can change our own lives and make our own lives better.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the journey that I'm on now.
Yeah.
And it's just exciting for me to see how that now that I've started this process, that how I feel better, I think better, I have a great perspective on life. It's like I have a whole nother energy that's on a positive tip.
Yeah.
Just because of all of the things that I'm learning.
Yeah.
And once you learn more, you should do more.
Yeah.
And like I say, this book I was doing all this stuff for my own personal benefit.
Yeah.
And then I just realized, you know what? I just think other people would like to know this. But I didn't want to give them all of this.
Right.
Because chances are they're not going to do anything with all of this.
So let me ask you this. So one takeaway from this, and this is something even for me that I'm still trying to figure out. So when I look at the back of this can, right, and I look at this label, and I see saturated fat, I see trans fat, I see carbs, I see this. What are the numbers or the percents? What does that mean? Because it's like I look at something and say, okay, this has 150 grams of sodium, and then it'll say beside it'll be like 2% or 15%, and then at the bottom it'll say based on a 2,000 calorie diet. So based on eating a daily diet of 2,000 calories, this 150 grams of sodium. Does that mean that this 150 grams of sodium is 15% of what I need daily, or just what's in this can is 15% sodium?
It's what's in that particular can.
Okay.
But what everybody should do is to look at what your daily recommended calories are. See, we take in food and it becomes calories.
Right.
And the calories not only is like your nutrients, but it causes you to gain weight or lose weight. So on the average, I think they say people should have 2,000 to 2,500 calories is an average.
Right.
But you got to split that up in all of the foods that you eat.
Okay.
Because you can have 2,000 calories worth of bread. If you when you go to the next fast food place, look at the sandwiches. Because they are required now. People have complained so much. They are required to put what the calories are on that food, because some people are really calorie conscious.
Right.
You can go to one particular restaurant and you can look at the basic hamburger. It might be 500 calories, but they got the triple stack that the one sandwich is over 2,000 calories. Just the one sandwich.
That's before fries,
that's
before the
before
drink,
anything.
before the apple pie.
Yes. And those over 2,000 calories, most of it is fat. Most of it is carbs. So you're still not getting your daily recommended
nutrients, vitamins, minerals. You ain't getting no real B11 in this right here. You're not getting no real A vitamins in this right here. You're getting all of this wrapped, and all of your calories are wrapped up in the bad stuff.
Exactly.
I got you.
And that's what we don't realize. We're so busy enjoying the food. We're on our busy lives. But then at the end of the day, you gotta have knee replacement. At the end of the day, you gotta take insulin. And it's like, I'll say this and I'll be done. It's like I watched, I don't know if you're into the college basketball.
A little bit,
But I watched the Final Four games, and then I also watched the championship game.
I had to work, so I ain't really get that.
So I watched Duke and Houston.
Right.
Duke was killing them. I mean, killing them. Duke was up by 14 points at one part of the game. When it was all said and done, Duke lost the game by 3 points. After being up by that, and I said, they got comfortable. They were playing hard, but they got comfortable with the lead that they had. Then they start playing up to the lead. While on the other side, that team was playing from behind.
Yeah.
And what we do sometimes, we look at, well, I'm good.
Yeah.
We're living from the lead that we have. Not realizing the game ain't over yet. You still live from year to year. There's still more food to be eaten. And then at the end of the game, you end up having issues that cannot be corrected. Now, Duke can't come back and replay. It's over.
It's over with. You right.
But let me say this, and I'm done for real.
Yeah.
I watched the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Now that was Houston.
Yeah.
They just spanked Deuce.
Yeah.
They played Florida.
Mm-hmm.
At one point of the game, Houston was ahead by 12.
Yeah.
And you would think they would remember.
Yeah.
Now, we were behind by 14 points. Now we're ahead by 12.
Mm-hmm.
There is no reason we should lose this game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They start playing with the lead they had. They got comfortable. And we get comfortable that, well, I'm just running here real quick and grab this, because I'm on the way somewhere.
Ouch. I did that last night. I've been doing good. I did that last night.
well, I'll say this.
I'll
say this. If we eat healthy, it's okay to have a cheat day.
Okay.
Because your body is in rhythm.
Okay.
And they even encourage you, even sports physiologists and dietitians will tell you it's okay to have a cheat day where you can have the French fries, you can have the milkshakes and all of that, because you're in such a regimen with your body that one meal is not going to throw you off.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
But what happens, we just get comfortable with the lead we have, that we're feeling good.
Yeah.
Body feels good. I don't have no aches and pains, so I ain't going to the gym.
Yeah.
I love my wife, but she don't work out.
Yeah.
But what she's starting to do is I'm gonna encourage her to do her yoga. Yeah. And I say, anytime you want to do it, I'll do it with you, because I understand the importance of it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be lifting weights. Anything that you do to move your body, get your muscles and blood and oxygen stirring. Yeah. So we get to the point where we don't have no aches and no pains and everything's good, but things are happening inside. Yeah. They're happening, just like, with your car. If you don't change your oil, your car run good for a while. Yeah. But you get so much dirt in that pan and in that oil filter that it start pushing it back up into the motor. Yeah. And you can lock that thing up. Yeah. Once it's locked up, no more. No coming back. Yeah. And our bodies are the same way. We don't want to get to the point to where diabetes or hypertension, those things are unrepairable. Yeah. So that's why I talk.
Man, I like the way you put that, Pop.
I appreciate it.
The way you put that.
I'm gonna say I'm done. Please buy the book. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, what more can I say? Hey, that's good stuff, Pop. And we gonna dive in some more into some more of this good health information and research that Pop has done, man. But I really like the way this ended. And just the flow of that, man. Thank you so much for that, Pop.
Yes,
I'm definitely challenged and motivated to continue to do better.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I'm playing from the lead right now, and I can't let it get. I can't lose now. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Just take a day at a time, man. Day at a time, meal at a time. So man, thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Ask Pops.
Yes.
Again, take the time to like, comment down below, subscribe. Pick up the book. Again, man, if you can't afford it, to the first 10 guys, and I don't know how many we've given away by now, but if there's something else, this is a different episode. You know what I'm saying? Different episode. But yeah, man, just reach out to us, man. And any questions you have for Pops, whether it's health related, life related, whatever it is, man. Hey, no questions. Nothing's off the table. We talk about whatever and anything, man. Feel free, man, to hit us up at askpops70@gmail.com, man.
Yes,
get your questions in. Again, share, comment, like, subscribe. Yeah. And until next time, man, I am your big bro, War.
I'm Pops.
Sure. Oh, and Chore.